Right, today we're going to be welding the sills on this, and I've never done this before, so I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm going to give it a go. Right here at the front of the rear driver side sill, this is where the main problem is. I had to cut all of that out because it's very, very rusty, and same goes with all of the inside, so that's all going to have to go. On the inside, there you go, you can just poke a hole through all of that, so that needs to be fixed. The passenger side is not that bad, so we'll also give that a go in this video. It's also very rusty along there, so we're going to have to grind that down, see where the rust is and where it needs to be welded. As you can see, that is absolutely gone. Now, an issue I have is the fact that all the rust is pretty much where the jack stand is, and I need to get the jack stand out of the way to actually weld and clean it all up. So I'm going to tell you guys not to do this because I don't want to be responsible if something doesn't work out for you. But I'm going to move that jack stand there. The center of gravity is like where the driver's seat is, so I think it should be good, and that's quite a structural point. So I've jacked this side up. Now we should be able to take this jack stand out. Right, so I took the jack stand out, and this is what we've done. This is actually way more secure than I thought it would be, but still don't do it, please. I don't want to be responsible for anything you mess up or something. It seems okay. I'm happy enough to go under the car. So what I'm going to do now is get this yoke, the grinder, and start sanding off or grinding off all the paint and the metal around there, and just see how deep the rust is really. So after having a closer look, let me tell you what I've decided to do. Basically all of this is gone. As you can see, it has lots of holes. We're going to cut all along here and split this open. We're going to replace all of this metal on the inside. We're going to weld that up. This seems okay. It might not be okay. There's a lot of rust inside the sills just hanging around, so we got to get that out somehow. If we clean this up, I think it should be okay. But the rest will have to be replaced probably up to here. So all the way down, and also this big section here with lots of holes in it. We're gonna cut that out and replace it. Same goes for this area here. So I've opened it up to have a closer look, and this is the worst part. This is okay, but I'm gonna have to replace it anyway. And there's a slight dent in the sill, so it's all gone up, and that's probably where the rust started from. That's not supposed to be bent like that. That's exactly where the jack goes actually, so that's bad. I've opened it up even further, took this whole big piece of metal out, and basically we need to fix this because that's where all the rust is. It's bubbling up, and that's not good. So we're gonna cut like a triangle, hopefully, if the grinder fits. And we're going to have to replace all of this because I think that's, if we don't fix it up now, we're going to have a problem. And when we're welding it back, I'm going to try to reinforce the jack point, maybe put some 5mm steel, because that's just like 3mm in total, but I'll try and make it as strong as possible so that the sill doesn't bend in anymore. Also, I've cut this part off. This was supposed to be straight, but since I think there was a weak point above this, it got bent. So this went right there, and with all the rust, it just folded in on itself, I think. This piece is out, and that is not very good. You can see all the rust there, very bad. It's all bubbling up. We're gonna have to treat that somehow. I've now cut everything that I think we should cut, or that I think we need to cut. So next up, we just need to get new metal, shape it in the right shape, and weld it back. I had a look at the area of rust that I had to fix and made this cardboard template, and then I cut out the cardboard template and got this 1.5mm steel, because that's what I'm using, by the way, and then I put it into place and started welding. It's not perfect, it's not going to look very good, but as long as it holds, I was going to be happy. I have now made this other template for the bit that goes here. So basically this will weld in something like that. So I've marked out this big rectangle that I'm going to cut, so let's get cutting. I'm now trying to shape it the same way I made this template, so I'm going to keep hammering it. So I have this section of the sill somewhat in place. This is going to be the inner part, and we're going to have a middle one going to the right of that, and then this part will extend and go on the outside. So the middle part is going to be sandwiched between the two, and then we're going to somewhat like weld them together. I'm still thinking how I'm going to do it, But next up, I want to get a big piece of metal and fill in this gap there, so the whole section. I'm going to make a template for it, so let's go ahead and do that. That looks like it's gonna work somewhat. Also, I know those look very ugly, but we're gonna clean them up later, don't you worry. Doesn't look too bad now there, so let's try weld it up. That's it there, welded all up in place. Looks horrible, but it's strong enough. Now next up, I'm going to do this part here. Hold on, that little triangle that we cut out earlier, I got template here out of a cornflakes box, and I'm going to try weld that up there and join it up here. I've got the piece of metal all cut out, so let's weld. Right, so that's tacked in place somewhat. We're gonna have to tack it up a bit more up at the top there, but I think I'm gonna leave it at that for tonight because it's getting dark and cold. So yeah. So a few days have passed and I am now gonna go and get back to work and try finish the sills today because I need to get the car back down on 2 jack stands by tonight. So as you can see, I've tacked that in place, welded it, grinded it down to make it somewhat smoother. Next up I have this piece which will be going like that and joining up with that bit there. So as you can see, I've welded it right back there. Behind it I've welded some 5mm steel just for some extra support where the jack stand will go once the sill is all back together, just for some extra support. Now I'm pretty much done with all the inside, although it looks horrible. So I've started patching it back up with the old metal that was still usable, and we will fill in the gaps that had to be cut out with some new metal. I'm also just after making this little slot here and folding the metal back and adding that little bit of reinforcement there for where the jack stand will sit. It's roughly in the same place as the original point and will do the job definitely. And if you look in here, it's right under the 5mm which I added in for reinforcement. So next up here I have a template for the piece of metal that needs to go right under there in the part that we had to replace. So let's get cutting. Here we have the bit of metal that I just cut out, so let's tack it in place. And there it is, welded up, if you can even call it that. Now, it does look horrible, but don't worry, that's it's nothing a bit of filler can't fix. I have just cut out the last piece that we need to weld to finally finish off at least the driver's side sill. So here it is, it's going to go there because all of that was absolutely rotten. So let's weld it up. And here we go, we did a questionably decent job at welding it, and it is now quite late, it's like 7 o'clock. So but we are ready to put the car back down on 2 jack stands. So I'm a bit nervous, but let's see how it goes. So let's go ahead and lower the car and see how it goes. I hope it holds. Alright, that's it. Well, I'm very happy with that. It's doing what it's supposed to. It's not collapsing in on itself. So I think we can consider that a success. Now, the car is back on jack stands, but we are clearly not done. We're going to put a lot of filler in here. Well, not a lot, but you know, we're going to make it look nice. But I do need the car back down on 2 jack stands for tomorrow morning because we're doing something quite exciting. So after that, we're going to put it back up and put the filler in. So I put the car back up on just 1 jack stand in the back, and as you can see, I've started to apply some of the filler. I'm mixing up right here, and we kind of just need to get the shape right, and then we're going to sand it down. I hope I have enough filler, so let's continue doing this. Lovely stuff. Let's mix up some more now. That's the filler applied. Now we need to let it dry. We might need to add some more afterwards, but let's wait for it to dry and start sanding. So I've left it to dry for a while now. It's hardened up, so I'm going to go ahead and start sanding. So I've sanded most of it down, but it's not looking very good. I've also ran out of filler. I've run out of any good sandpaper to use, so for now we're just going to patch it up with like primer, and we'll call it a day for now. There we go. You can still see the marks in the filler, but I'll get around to it eventually. So it looks all right. Alright, so it's been a week since I filmed that last video. And no, I did not properly finish it off. I didn't sand it down fully. I didn't put the rest of the filler in, but I thought I'd make a proper outro for the video. So basically I've decided to not do the passenger side sill this time. I'm just going to leave it here and I'll do the passenger side when I get a better welder, because we're in no rush anyway, and I think it would be for the best. In terms of what's next, I'm going to make some polyurethane bushings for the Panhard rod, which video should be out in a few days or maybe a week. And then I'm going to put it back on the car, put the rear axle back on, assemble the whole thing with or without the shocks because they're kind of blown. I'll think about that. Have it on the ground because I want to have it on the ground for a while to make some videos, because we're coming up to like a year since owning it, but it won't be down in time. And then I'll have the car back on the ground for a few months, few weeks. I'll put it back up, take the suspension linkages out, make space, weld the passenger side sill, and then that will be pretty much it for now. But I'm very happy we gave it a go. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. It's not very professional, but maybe next time it'll be better. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video or found it helpful. I don't know how you could have found this helpful, because I had no idea what I was doing. But anyway, subscribe and check out the TikTok and the Instagram and everything. And yeah, I'm looking forward to making good progress on this, because like one day we'll have it done.